better than us? Nobody!
I want to focus on the things that have made us good all year long, and intensity that they can't match. And the other thing is the ultimate disrespect is when somebody takes what's yours. And this is our game, so that makes it so personal. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
I need 60 minutes. 60 minutes to me. 60 minutes. No business, no mercy. Nothing but stop on the blood bubble. You got me. We're going to ring the bell. We're going to ring that championship bell. Motherfucking dog.
The orange ball is on Mitch Jeter's leg. Good snap, good hold, kick on its way, and the kick is good! Yes! Mitch Jeter, with 7 seconds left, gives the Irish a lead, 27-24. Notre Dame is on the precipice.
Notre Dame has won the Orange Bowl.
3rd and 16. Mahomes roll it out. Looking, firing, intercepted. Picked up by Cooper DeJean. Gets a block. DeJean is in. Touchdown.
The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59. They have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs.
And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
You are looking live.
Hello, everyone. You are looking live, and we are back. It is July the 22nd, 2025, and after many months, we are back on the airwaves, and we are gearing up for the new and upcoming season. You can follow us and make sure you are subscribed on all the platforms so you do not miss anything for the upcoming season. We're at Huddle Up Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitter. We're at Huddle Up Podcast Inc. on Instagram. We are at Huddle Up Inc. on Twitch, so make sure you subscribe there. You can subscribe to us on all podcast platforms, so make sure you do that as well. You can also grab our merch over on our TeePublic store. You can get that from all of our social media channels in the link tree. That's where you can connect with everything Huddle Up related. But we are glad to be back with you. It has been far too long, but we are here. If you are following along with us, feel free to interact with us in the comments as Sean is grabbing the Tuesday Morning Quarterbacks Fantasy League Championship that unfortunately I did have to make sure that he got in his hands. Sean, how are we doing this July evening?
Doing pretty good. You know, it's going to be a fun year to talk about football, at least for a few of us. We've been chomping at the bit to get talking about football. Can't get enough of it. So, figured I'd remind you the belts in Florida now. At least for this year. Plan on that being extremely.
I plan on it making a return back to Pennsylvania.
Well, I mean, the odds are good.
Well, they are pretty good.
11 of the 12.
There's a
Pennsylvania,
11 of 12 chance.
Only one way to keep it here.
That is simple math, but we will figure that out as the year goes on. Mikey B joining us. Mikey B, how we doing?
We're good. Here to talk about some exciting topics. Some football related, some not football related.
Yeah. So training camp starting today or this week in the National Football League. We figure might as well have our own version of training camp in a way, as we'll have 4 episodes leading up to the start of the live season. So
you got to get warmed up. You can't hit the field at full speed
you can't
right out of the chute.
You can't just hit the
hurt
thing
that way.
Exactly, especially all the dunking that we're going to do on EJ this year. You have to get in shape.
let's be honest, with EJ, it's usually more of a layup.
Well, that's true. That is true. But tonight we're going to be talking about it's a debate that, well, basically in our house, it's a debate that has been spurred by the Michigan-Ohio State game last year. Would you rather beat your rival, or would you rather win a championship? So that's what we're going to be talking about here tonight. Next week, now we won't be live next week, but we will have an episode hitting the YouTube and the podcast channels. Basically, if your favorite team, and we'll go through the big four professional leagues in college football, if your team ceased to exist, who would be your new team? So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. We'll be back live on August the 5th. And on that episode, we will be ranking the top 16 quarterbacks in the National Football League going into this upcoming season. So I'm sure that will not have any debate or people getting angry on this show at all. And then our final preseason episode, if you will, which will air on our YouTube and podcast channels on August the 12th. It'll be a Mount Rushmore of current NFL uniforms. A lot of new uniforms, new helmets and things hitting the wire this year with the new Commanders uniform. Yes, they are still the Commanders. The Bills bringing back the red helmet. The Saints bringing in a white alternate helmet plus a gold jersey. The Chargers introducing an all yellow uniform. The Navy uniform is back. The Superchargers are back. So a lot of new uniforms to make this one very interesting. And then actually 4 weeks from tonight, less than a calendar month, if you will, August the 19th, we will be back. We'll be live kicking off the new season with, of course, our college football preview as week 1A, because there's no such thing as week 0. We'll be kicking off that weekend. So get ready, everybody. We are back for another year. But yeah, plenty of content coming out over the next month. So we're glad to be back here with all of you. So yeah, let's set the table. Probably going to be a little shorter than normal. I do have a little bit of wrinkle into the question itself, but you know, this past season, and it's kind of been the debate. I think it's been a debate a little bit in sports radio and sports talk podcasts when you were back kind of at the end of the college football season. But in this house, especially one of the two of us that lives in this house, Michigan defeated Ohio State, obviously the end of the regular season. Ohio State goes on, wins 4 playoff games, wins the national title. Their blemish on the year is not beating their biggest, their most hated rival. And the fans of the Maize and Blue have not been shy to remind Ohio State fans it was their very own legendary coach, Woody Hayes, that once said, if you don't win the game, winning a national championship doesn't matter. So Michigan fans have, of course, reminded Ohio State fans that. And so, you know, for some of us, we've been recently on sides of winning titles. For other of us, we've waited for that for a very long time. But Sean, I'll lend to you first, since you do have the most current and active league championship. What would you rather have? Would you rather, and you can't have both in this scenario. This is a one or the other.
So if I understood the scenario correctly, if I'm winning the championship, I'm getting swept by my biggest rival is pretty much how that's working.
Eagles win the Super Bowl, but you lose twice to the Cowboys in the regular season.
Right. I guess that would be the biggest rival. I would
imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, living this close to Philadelphia, yeah, I would.
I mean,
I would say that it's
my buddy John and from LaSalle. He texted me. His oldest son. He texted me the first time he said "Go Birds," and he texted me the first time he said "Dallas sucks." So, you know, that's give you an idea there. You know, like I had to really think. I'm like, is this a harder question than I can imagine? And I can tell you, for like, you know, a city that kind of just waited, and it was, abysmal, through the 90s. And, when your team is down, it's nice to have, like you hang on to those like professional sports wins.
Sure.
I think in college football, that rivalry for a lot of schools is the game. And I think your big college football fans, your Alabama Auburns, your, heated rivalries, especially in the SEC and down this way.
Alabama.
Exactly. I think some of them would have a real hard time, but they also really love hanging their hat on those national champions. For me, it's not even close. The fact that no matter what's going on in this world, in this country, in this whatever, the fact that you can hang your hat on that, like watch a replay of Patrick Mahomes just eating it, or even going back and watching Nick Foles just, absolutely torch the Patriots defense. Like that never gets taken away. And I spent a lot of years watching Donovan McNabb and Westbrook and Andy Reid, beating up on the NFC East and then like just falling short. And it's not like I was like, yeah, but we got Dallas. I mean, eventually you kind of cling to that, but yeah. And the only twist I had when thinking about this was that in Major League Baseball, I think it would be very hard to get one or the other. I feel like if the Phillies are getting swept by the Mets, now MLB's taking it away with the, playing all the teams and, with the wild card berths and things, like it's more possible to still make the playoffs having done that. But I would think in baseball, it would be very difficult to pull that off. But I would still much rather have the World Series that we've been chasing for a few years.
Right.
We could lose all of them to the Mets because the Mets are going to choke eventually anyway. So that's fine. You can have your whatever 10.
Right. You can
8,
beat us in the
wins,
regular
whatever.
season.
But for me, I don't think as a whole it's even close.
Yeah, because I think with baseball, I mean, I know you do play a little bit less head to head, because of the spread in the schedule
But
out.
it'd be pretty hard to
to
especially if it was more
completely
than
get
one
swept.
rival, like the Braves and the Mets, like you couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, it would, like in that scenario, it'd almost have to be like a, you lose 80%.
Right, you lose like the season series.
Like
right.
get pretty handed. Not like we won 6. Lost,
still give me the trophy.
Lost 8, still take the trophy. But
yep.
And like, I mean, hockey, it's certainly possible. I think the most you play against one team is 4.
Right, so hockey and basketball, there's a larger pool to make the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, basketball always has sub 500 teams in the playoffs. So like, I don't.
Well, the play-in will be coming to the NHL, I'm sure. Like Gary Bettman, I'm sure we'll figure out a way
you can do to get more.
Yeah, it's a money grab. I hate it.
More money.
I saw people talking about that this year, saying how like, oh, this has been such an exciting year. Could you have imagined if they would have had 2 play-in series? I'm like, no, you had a play-in. It was called the 82 game regular season.
It was the regular season, right?
Like, but anyway, so for you, it's championship.
Yeah,
okay.
You can have your rivalry, consolation prize. That's fine.
All right, Mikey B, how about you?
Yeah, this question does genuinely feel more, and I'm very upset that student of the game Kyle Nash isn't here to argue with me about this. This question feels. Thank you. This question feels more for the SEC homers in life. This feels like a conversation for the Big Ten homers in life.
Homer.
The ACC homers of life. Because here's the deal. Talk about my NFL team. The Cincinnati Bengals have never won a Super Bowl. I'll go 0-2 against Baltimore or Pittsburgh every day of the week, twice on Sunday. Fuck it. I'll go 0-4 against both of them. And if you give me a championship.
Right. Just get
I don't give a singular fuck. 12-4 sounds just fine when all 4 losses are to Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
Sure.
Don't give a fuck. Baseball, 13 games against the Yankees. Do I want to go 0-13 against them? No, but I would love to read those Twitter comments whenever they fucking choke and don't win the World Series and the Red Sox lift the banner. And it's like, ha! You talk about hockey. It's like, do I want to go 0-3 against that Canadian pompous prick, Sidney Crosby? No. But if Ovechkin gets to shove another trophy in his face, guess what? I'm in.
Right. I'd like to put another one of those up in the studio before.
I feel the real people to ask would be like, in Oklahoma or Texas, where like now Texas has national title hopes now, so they've remembered what that's like. Oklahoma hasn't for several years. I thought maybe that'd be one to be like, well, we have a bunch of those. I'm not losing to Texas.
I mean, just looking at it from a collegiate rival, like if you're sitting here and you guys are both Notre Dame fans, Notre Dame USC, back in the early 2000s, you didn't really want to lose to USC ever.
Well, no, because
except we did every year for a long time.
But at that point, they were the stepping stone to get to the national title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You had to beat them.
Football now it's even different. When we're talking like 90s, 2000s, those rivalry games were even more magnified because you didn't have the margin of error. Like it wasn't just that it was USC; it was that hey, we're undefeated, and here comes USC. The rivalry games were always, especially if one of them had a shot at a national title. Like those years with Pete Carroll, it was like, God, if we could just knock these, and then you get one Bush push shenanigan game, and it broke my life.
Wow, who knew that the same play that got USC to a national title game would be your favorite play to run?
Thing sucks.
Hey, if it's within the rule books, it's fine, but it was not.
It was not in the rule books then.
Sorry,
damn it.
Sorry.
Fuck you,
The
Matt
fact
Lyon.
that I have a T-shirt with the play on it, like the X's and O's of
that is the irony.
Push. Yeah, it
That
is
is
kind of
the irony.
ironic. I hadn't put that together, but yeah, the Bush push is different than the tush push. Very, very illegal at the time.
It was very illegal at the time.
So I
first
go
time I'm
back
hearing
to when you think about the collegiate rivalries, your Texas Oklahomas, your USC Notre Dames, your Alabama versus Auburns. Yes, it does change because of the playoff and teams are going to get into the playoffs. But it really still feels like collegiately, Ohio State doesn't want to lose to Michigan and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame doesn't want to lose to USC and vice versa. Texas doesn't want to lose to Oklahoma and vice versa. This question feels more on a college level of where you're going to find the people that are going to say, fuck Texas, I want to beat them every year we play them.
Right.
Or fuck
you only
Notre
get one
Dame.
shot to beat the team you hate the most. Right.
Correct. And that's one of those things, especially if you're and then again, I will use Auburn as my example here.
There you go.
You could win the national title. You could. You could also go 8-4 in SEC play. But if that one win is Alabama, every time you play them, it makes 8-4 feel at least a little bit more bearable.
Right.
Right, because you'll eventually like move on, and you'll move on from the national. But like in those areas, like Alabama, Auburn, like you're gonna pass people in the streets every day.
So a couple of years ago, I think pre-pandemic, played a round of golf over in York, PA area, and it was me and a buddy of mine. We went over, played, and we got paired with a guy. Introduced himself, and he had a pretty distinct Southern accent. And we're like, "Are you from Alabama?" And he's like, "Yeah." So we said, "All right, now the magic question:
Like, all right, let me speak slower.
Are you Roll Tide or War Eagle?" And he had an Auburn belt on. He had all Auburn shit all over his back. Like, so yeah, that shit goes with you everywhere. And you absolutely want to win that game.
Yeah. That's why I said I'm upset Kyle's not here, because, if you're talking about a tried and true SEC team, 70% of the fan base is going to look at you and say, I want to beat my rival more than I want to win a national title. We've won national titles. We'll win national titles again. But if you're pinpointing like a 1-year sample size where you're like, your choice is to win the Natty or beat Auburn, and you're like, we're a 7-win Mississippi State team. I'm cool with beating Auburn.
Yeah, and I think your proximity to the last time you won a title will kind of help a little bit as well. Like if you've won a title, you've seen it in the last couple of years, stomaching that loss to your rival, whatever, like really not a big deal, especially because like right now, I mean, I pulled up the 1995 Dallas Cowboys season 30 years ago this year. They lost 4 times in the regular season that year. Twice to Washington, once to Philly, once to San Francisco. Mid-90s, you don't get more teams I hate than Washington, Philly.
Well, I was going to say, and it's funny because I think in that era, like that
Washington
early 90s era was when Philly, Dallas kind of was born. Because I think up to that point, Washington, Dallas was the Cowboys and the Redskins. Like, Cowboys and Indians was like a big thing.
Yep.
Right.
But those were the teams. I mean, the Eagles weren't very viable. Well, all of a sudden, here comes Mr. Reggie White and his like 4 sacks a game, and Buddy Ryan and a whole different breed of offense or defense, and all of a sudden, a rivalry was born. It was just. I think it just created through the hate of Philadelphia. I feel like that's really where it is like stop winning. You guys suck.
Yeah, I mean. If you're talking like, and I'll bring my collegiate alliance, obviously I've worn enough teal on this show to tell everybody Coastal Carolina till I die. I can't lose to my rival and win the national title.
No.
Right.
Unless I somehow finish as the top Power 5 conference team.
I was going to say, we're assuming that magic happens and you would get in. And then
I mean, at that point, it's like, cool, who am I going to lose to? Liberty? I mean, we don't have a gargantuan rival. I mean, let's be very like we have our own like we our old Big South rival in Liberty and teams like that, and teams obviously in the Sun Belt, looking at you, Texas State, etc. But it's like I would have to beat my rival and go like 11-0 basically to get into the top 16 or 12, and then I'd have to try to beat a true blue blood in the first couple rounds of the playoffs to get to a national title. So it's like, I think I would take the national title there at that point. It's kind of what I just went through with the college baseball run, with them getting to the national title series before losing to probably the best team I've ever seen on paper in LSU. And don't worry, I got it just as heated as Kevin Schnall did when he got ejected out of game 2 of that College World Series. But, and it's funny that you say that because my shirt does say family on it. So it's fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious. So like if you're telling me like, oh, this is the one shot that you have for Coastal Carolina to walk out with a collegiate football national title, sure, I'm losing to the Citadel.
Right. Yeah. And like, and the college football playoff does add, because if we are kind of isolating on college football with this, and it's kind of where it birthed from because of Michigan and Ohio State. Because I mean, you want to run back what the Cowboys did 30 years ago and lose to Philly and lose to what? I mean, I still know I have friends of mine who are Washington fans that they love the fact that 2 of the 4 Cowboys losses that year were to Washington. And I'm like, that's cool. You guys went 6-10. Congratulations.
Still got the trophy.
1/3 of your wins was against Super Bowl champion. That's great. But like, you still only won 6 times.
Well, I think sometimes, I mean, we're talking about how like, how recent it's been since you won a title might come into play. I think sometimes it's also like when you factor that in, that recent title, sometimes it's just which side of the rivalry you're on. Right, because Alabama, Auburn, for example, since we've been on that, Alabama's had in recent memory. They've had in recent memory seasons where they lost to Auburn, but still made a run at or won a national title where it didn't hurt them enough because it was a close game, or it was, and they were already so far ahead in the voting.
They still get in the SEC title game.
They know that, like, oh man, that stung. But they sure loved all those national titles and hanging out on them. Like, it was probably very easy to come back from the, like, with just a, hey, roll tide. But, where you're Auburn, you don't have that in recent memory. There's no time where you, like, took one in the chin from Alabama and still won because you didn't win.
Yeah, because the year the Cam Newton
did they
year,
win who was Bo Jackson? Did they win when he played?
Well, I know they've upset Alabama a time or two, but
I just mean the national titles. Auburn have national titles.
Did they win it the Cam Newton year?
I don't remember, but they might have. They were like right there.
I'm looking up right now. Honestly, the last national title that Auburn won was 2010. I think so.
Yeah.
In Cam Newton, that seems late.
No, that was Cam. That would have been Cam Newton.
Was that Cam?
That would have been Cam. Yeah.
I mean, he was only in the league for a flash.
Yeah, it was Cam.
2010, they went 12-0, won the SEC, and then they finished 14-0, won the national title game.
All right, so Cam Newton did get one.
Yeah.
Man,
they defeated Oregon 22-19. 22-19 in the Natty. They blew the doors off of South Carolina in the SEC title game 56-17. They beat Alabama that year. They beat Alabama that year on the road 28-27 the week before the SEC title game.
Yeah.
Man, what a year.
Heck of a year. But yeah, it's that sort of thing of just like depending on what side you're on, how long it's been, stuff like that, because like and that's kind of like the other wrinkle as Mrs. Big Jim and I were talking about it even just recently, like, you know, especially with the college football playoff, you have more opportunity depending what you've done outside of those rivalry games, right, to recover from it and still win. Because if Notre Dame doesn't do the unthinkable and lose to Northern Illinois in week 2 this year, you can go into Southern Cal at the end of the year, trip up, right? As they almost did. They almost lost in Southern Cal this year. 2 90+ yard interception returns helped seal that one. But you could go to Southern Cal and lose, still make the playoff, and depending how the road goes, I mean, they beat, you know, Big Ten runner-up, they beat SEC champion on the way to the national championship game. You can recover from that loss, right? So, like, but if you're USC, you know you're not winning the national title, right? Like, you know Notre Dame's gonna get to the playoff either way. Like, so like this past year, you know, you're USC. You're going into that last game of the regular season. We're gonna end up in the fucking Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl. You know, we haven't had the season we wanted to, but we can blemish Notre Dame's season if Notre Dame comes in undefeated. I mean, they could have cost Notre Dame going to the playoff. If you lose a second time, they would have been out. But in this obvious scenario, like, that's the other kind of twist to this. Like, if you know that your rival team, and obviously we never know when you're in the moment, but if you know that your rival team is going to go on to win the championship, regardless of what happens in your game, right? Like, and you know your team doesn't have a chance to win, like, you absolutely care about being that blemish, right? Like, because my wife loves the fact that Michigan beat Ohio State in Columbus 13-10. Michigan's quarterback had 71 yards passing that day, and Ohio State couldn't beat him. Like,
God, how embarrassing!
Right, and like, if you're on the Ohio State side, you're going, well, we still won the title, and then but you still get, you know, you spend an entire week crossing out M's on the Buckeye campus. Like, you won't even say the letter M for an entire week, and you lost to them. I don't
put up that display. How
you know what I mean? Like, you go through all of this in weird ways. Like, I think like Ohio State seems more obsessed about the rivalry than even Michigan fans do, I think, as a whole. And like, that's your blemish. Like, so if you're not going to win a title, you want to be that blemish on your opponent's season, right?
So I just looked up the box score to that 2010 Iron Bowl.
Okay.
If there is a singular game that Alabama fans want in Iron Bowl history, it's this one.
Okay.
It's not the kick six.
Yeah, kick six was great, but
kick six was great television.
Correct. This game against Auburn, 28-27 was the final. At the time, Auburn was the number 2 team in the nation. Alabama was number 9.
Okay.
They were 9-2 against 11-0. Mark Ingram, 9-yard touchdown run. Julio Jones from Greg McElroy from 68 yards. And Darius Hanks from Greg McElroy from 12 yards out. It was 21-0 in the first quarter.
I do remember this game.
Wow. Okay.
They kicked a field goal to make it 24-0 with 8 minutes left in the second quarter.
And then what happened?
Emory Bank, 37 yards from Cam Newton. Terrell Zachary, 70 yards from Cam Newton.
What happened?
A 1-yard touchdown run from Cam Newton to make it 24-21. Jeremy Shelley kicks a field goal with a minute left in the third period to make it 27-21. And then Philip Lutschenkirchen, the tight end fullback that they had, from Cam Newton,
Great
7
run
yards
game
out,
there.
28-27 final. You were up. You were
Well,
up.
if there were any Alabama fans
24.
watching, they aren't anymore.
You're welcome.
You blew it.
24-0
You blew it.
Embarrassing.
against your biggest rival,
Fucking embarrassing.
with a shot to make sure that they don't play, in the very least, for the national title and potentially even for the SEC title. And you blew a 24-0 lead.
You had it all and you blew it.
You had a 24-0 lead and finished with 27.
Way to go, a-hole.
Like, that's the other piece of that. It's not just that you let
Right.
them come back. It's you scored
You just
3
stopped.
additional points.
You
You
just
were
stopped.
like, this is it. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, you
Done.
just stopped. I like Hunter here.
Auburn
in the
was like,
comments.
okay, we can play defense now.
I do like Hunter in the comments. Notre Dame, great spelling, by the way, not making the natty again. You may be right. You may be right.
Hey, Hunter, how's it going?
Tune back in on August 19th when we preview the college football season.
Spoiler alert, coastal to the natty.
Let's see. We got not him says Bama gonna go all the way. All right.
All the way to where?
Right.
All the
Like,
way where?
Scoring 0 in the entire second half.
It's their farthest road game.
like are you
Going
dragging
all the way to Texas.
are you dragging Nick Saban away from eating tomahawk steaks next to Pat McAfee on game day? Because, like, no offense to Kalen DeBoer, he did get Washington
Ooh.
to a national title game. I'm not taking anything away from the man,
Don't worry, we all remember how that ended, and I was someone who was rooting for Washington in that game.
but like the college football world has gotten better around Kalen DeBoer in the 2 years since, and arguably Bama has gotten worse.
Hold on. You want to know why? Because people can legally pay players now.
Makes it a lot harder when everybody else can do it.
This guy gets it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Where's the furthest
Players
Alabama's
can just get
traveling?
paid
this
on
year?
their own. They just like,
Right.
I'm just gonna go sign this deal now.
Yeah.
Man, I
pretty
can't.
much.
I can't wait to watch them take that trip all the way to Columbia, Missouri to play Mizzou
Right. Like what is
at Florida. Here's Alabama's schedule: at Florida State,
Well, I mean, that's
home against Louisiana Monroe, home against Wisconsin, at Georgia,
lost.
home against Vanderbilt. Great tough SEC matchup on the road at 12 o'clock against Missouri.
Chew, buddy.
Versus Tennessee. I don't know about you, but I can't wait to play that 3 o'clock game at South Carolina. That could be a tough matchup. They get LSU at home this year.
Family.
Oklahoma at home.
Okay.
They're gonna lose one of those weird ones.
You know what, guys? I found the lots on this schedule. I hope everybody's sitting down. It's November 22nd. It is a home game against the Eastern Illinois Panthers.
I hope they retire Tony Romo's number that day. Like
And then of course the Iron Bowl this year at Alabama. At Auburn.
At Auburn.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're right. Hold on.
They have
hold
enough.
on. Not him if they don't go all the way this year. And if Ryan Williams doesn't win the national title, then Caleb DeBoer better be on the next plane to anywhere else. Fucking Alabama because
Yeah.
they're going to make sure he never walks again.
Well,
I was gonna say,
this guy's got the right screen name because when they announce the Heisman, I'm gonna be like, well, it's not him.
not him.
It's not,
It'd be even funnier.
It's not him.
It'd be even funnier if Ryan Williams was the number 3 or 33. Like that would
It's
be.
not him.
It's not rage baiting, it's facts. Facts
You're
don't
just,
come
you're
out
just
clean.
in the comments.
Welcome to
You're in
the
the
show.
comments. We're
truth
lonely.
hurts.
You're out
It's
there.
okay.
Make a comment.
Look.
Get not him off the hook.
Look, it's we try to deal with mostly facts around here.
Kyle, is that you?
But now I didn't notice there was no picture.
It
But
might be Kyle.
it could be Kyle. Yeah, you're gonna lose to Georgia.
That's not him.
You may. I see what you did there.
Came to play today.
You may trip up in one of those South Carolina game, LSU game. Heck, maybe Alabama will be ranked low enough that it won't be a big enough game for Brian Kelly to lose. Just saying.
Figures they're all kids. That's why he knows what rage baiting. I'm like, I didn't know what that meant.
I was like, I was vaguely. I mean, I put the 2 and 2 together, but.
Well, at least they follow the pod.
There you go. Love that.
Because I didn't tell them.
But yeah, I mean, to boil it down to the question, yeah, look, I've seen in my adult life one of my teams win a championship. I was 10 the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. I barely remember it. My memories from that is seeing Neil O'Donnell yuck 2 balls to Larry Brown. That's what I primarily remember. Super Bowl MVP for the Dallas Cowboys, Neil O'Donnell. But like, I've seen one of my teams in my adult life win a championship. Like, you tell me if you tell me the Cowboys are going to go into this season and they're going to lose 2 to the Giants, 2 to the Eagles, and 2 to Washington, but miracle happens, you get that wild card run, and they're going to win the Super Bowl. Inject it into my vein. I don't give a shit about losing to the rest of the NFC East. Do not care. Absolutely take that deal. You would tell me Notre Dame is going to lose to USC in South Bend this year in October, but they're going to make the college football playoff, get back to the national title, and actually win? They got 8 points away last year. Okay? That opening drive is the best drive I have ever seen a Notre Dame team put together. 15 plays, Riley Leonard just getting destroyed and just wouldn't quit. Yeah, I'll take a national. USC, have your paper victory. I don't care. Notre Dame won a national title when I was 3, okay? Sign me up. Where do I sign? I haven't seen the Orioles win a World Series.
You won't.
I absolutely will not.
Sorry.
How many titles does your wife have since you've been together? Just one?
Just one.
But that's more than 0.
That's more than 0. That's more than I have.
That's
like I celebrated with her. I was happy for her, but motherfucker, I want that.
Like,
it's my turn.
I want one, damn it.
I want one. She had one, I want one. That's fair, right? That's the balance we get in life. So yeah, I do not the Red Sox and the Yankees could literally sweep the Orioles. And give me a World Series. That's fine. I don't give a shit.
Well, and see, that Yankees Red Sox was one where I was interesting to hear that you didn't really care as much. You got swept by the Yankees, and then I wonder, I'm like, is it something like, does a Yankees fan from New York,
no,
or a Boston Red Sox fan from Boston that lives there, do they have more? Do they have more stake in it? Is it something where it's like, I'm not giving up that Red Sox series, F them?
No. I think the reality of the situation is the game of baseball has changed into more of, oh, look, there's Aaron Judge and Trevor Story having dinner because they played a day game today and they're going to play tomorrow.
Right.
those old school rivalries back in the 90s where it was like if Pedro saw Roger Clemens at a restaurant in Boston, he may get up and throw him a 97-mile-an-hour fastball can of Coke at him.
Here's a meatball.
You know,
Literally.
Right. He asked the waitress, like, do you have any lemons? And she brings out lemon slices. He's like, no, I need a lemon.
I need a
Like,
whole lemon.
I need a whole lemon. Why?
Let's let it go.
Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions you don't want answered.
But the other thing is, and I think baseball, basketball, hockey, I think your thought process here and the question to tweak it just a small bit, would you rather not win a championship but eliminate your biggest rival?
Correct. Yeah.
I think that's the bigger question. Like, no, 2003, if we would have lost to Florida but eliminated the New York Yankees, I could have looked at it and been like, first time we made it to the World Series since the curse. There's a step in the right direction. Let's see what.
There are definitely some wrinkles you could throw in this. Like I'm like
watching
Aaron win a championship. Like you're not winning the championship every. We're talking like in a season.
Correct.
Like it's like, okay, you can win the championship, but you won't beat your rival for like 10 years.
Oh,
yeah.
Like if you're starting for a title, there's a lot of Eagles fans, especially coming out of that Andy Reid era, that have been like, look, you're not going to beat Dallas for 10 years, but we'll get you a Super Bowl this year. They'd have been
Sean,
like,
as somebody again who hasn't seen the Cowboys win a Super Bowl since I was 10, just had my 40th birthday, by the way.
Haven't won one at all.
Right. Like you're going to tell me I'm not going to beat Philly for a decade, but I'm going to get a Super Bowl in there. Yes. Give me that deal.
Yeah, happy on air belated, Big Jim. Happy on air belated. Did not get to wish you one on air. We're between the niece birthdays right now.
We are, but sign me up for that. I can, because here's the thing. I have lost to the Eagles before. My team will lose to the Eagles again. Probably both times this year. But give me.
Oh my gosh, this Landon in the comments.
Give me
not
that
him. If you're Landon, go to sleep.
Can we talk about the Bucs wide receiver room? We will talk about the Bucs on August the 26th, I believe. That's when we start previewing the NFL season. That's when we will get into the ins and outs of the upcoming season. But yeah, absolutely sign me up for that. I will gladly take it. But yeah, Mike, to your point too, because 2018, obviously the Capitals went on to win the Stanley Cup. But
suck it, Crosby.
The night that Crosby turned the puck over to Ovechkin, and I can picture it in my brain as I'm describing it, turns the puck over to Ovechkin at the blue line. Ovechkin pokes it to Kuznetsov, who comes down. You see Chris Letang yeet himself trying to break up the play. Didn't do it. Kuznetsov scores the game winner in Pittsburgh, by the way, to send the Caps to their first Eastern Conference final since 1998. I texted my friend Dave that night, who's a Capitals fan, and he and I were both like, house money.
Oh, yeah.
At that point, it didn't matter. Now, that night, I believed in my heart and in my mind the Capitals won the Stanley Cup that night.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the weight they couldn't get off their shoulders. Right. But, had they lost to Tampa, all right, we got to a conference final. We can do this again. Mm-hmm. If you go in and you lose to Vegas, it's a magic fucking season. What can you do, right? But you eliminated Pittsburgh. You beat them in their house. The reason the defending champs were no longer defending was because of you. That made it okay. That was house money.
You exercised the demons.
Yeah. So, I was fine with that. I would have been fine with that. Glad I got the banner. Always a nice thing. But yeah, I would have taken. I would absolutely have taken.
How many years?
Interesting to see. I was gonna say it'd be interesting to see a wrinkle in this if in that type of scenario of well, you're not gonna beat your rival for 10 years, but you get to beat them on the way to the title this year. Like you get to eliminate them from the playoffs. That would change.
There's obviously some interesting wrinkles that
fun to do.
That you can.
How many years did we sit here eliminated by Crosby, eliminated by the fucking New York Rangers?
Oh, hate it.
That's just as bad.
Where you're literally like, man, I would have much rather have been boat raced by Ottawa
Right. Like, just I'm
or
fine.
Carolina.
Yeah. Like, I can stand losing to some teams. I can't stand losing to a couple of, like, a handful of teams.
Boston.
And losing a
Ugh.
game 7
Boston,
at home
Philly,
against
Pittsburgh, New York.
But you're
Yeah,
not
losing
gonna
a game,
Philly.
losing multiple game 7s, including multiple ones at home to either Pittsburgh or the Rangers,
Yeah, I mean,
where you're
can
not
ask
even in that game.
you can ask friends of mine, like, fucking. I hear the name Joffrey Lupul, and my eye still
No.
starts to twitch after the fucking 2008 opening round. But
Truth.
it just, and that's the thing too, is I do think that and it will always. Here's the thing: it will always be, if you are on the losing or on the winning side of the rivalry, right? But you don't end up winning the title. And what's going on, Devin? Good to see you. Good to see you here, buddy. Glad to have you.
I know you
with us.
missed this.
If you're on the winning side of the rivalry, you don't win a title. You will always, and rightly so. Where's the? Let me hit the freaking clat for the first
Hit the
time.
clat on them.
And rightly so.
You will always bring that up. Like I said, 30 years later, still have friends who are Washington fans who talk about 2 of the 4 losses that year for Dallas being the Redskins. Absolutely, they beat them. I can't
To be fair,
argue
Washington
that.
hasn't done much since.
They haven't, but like, you know,
They had
you
RG3
can hang that up.
I was like, yeah.
And if you know, if you know somebody who's like, a buddy of mine is coming in from Ohio this weekend, play some golf with him. I might throw like because I'm sure I owe him a round of golf because of the national title. I gotta say, I have to remind him. But like, when I'm paying for his round of golf, I'll be like, did y'all lose a game last year? Like, I'm just gonna ask him a question just to see how he reacts to it, sort of a deal. But
Like, nope, ran the table.
Because if you're on the winning side of that, you will always use it. And if you're on the championship side of it, you're always going to at least outwardly profess that you don't care. Because, like, I bet if you ask an Ohio State fan, like, you won a title, but you lost to Michigan, like, are you okay with that? And like, they will probably say, yeah, I'm fine, we won a natty. But you probably know better.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely outweighs it, but it definitely makes it less sweet. It has to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this season you're always gonna have that, and people are gonna remind you that you lost to.
Right, like the Urban Meyer year, they didn't lose to Michigan.
But again, everyone pays their players now.
That's true. That is also true. Any other thoughts on this topic, guys?
I think we've exhausted it, and it sounds like we're all pretty much on the same page.
Yeah, I think so. Training camp underway. Couple of early training camp headlines. We just have a little bit about 10 minutes before the hour here. Cowboys Bengals already probably on the wrong side of the news cycle. The Trey Henderson contract dispute in Cincinnati. Jerry Jones running his mouth, fanning the flames of the Micah Parsons contract situation. So training camp off to a bumpy start for some. Other teams are coasting in.
Oh man,
we still haven't even signed a first-round draft pick yet.
Neither have the Browns.
Well, that's
right.
Okay.
Well, one of them is the Cleveland Browns.
Right, exactly. One of them you almost
Browns are gonna Browns. They're gonna Browns every year.
They're gonna.
Is this the part of the show where we take the over under on what week Shedeur Sanders starts his first game?
Oh, that's fun. Let's bring up the Browns schedule here.
Because I will comment while you look that up, the Trey Hendrickson stuff. I think it inevitably gets done. I think this is Mike Brown being Mike Brown.
No first round picks.
Holy hell,
Ohio.
dude!
Their schedule is Wow. Okay. I looked at it the other day.
Holy shit. Okay.
Well, you got to remember, they might have to go through 4 quarterbacks to get to it.
So,
we don't know who's playing.
Don't worry. It won't take long.
God.
But don't worry. Deshaun Watson has taken both rookie quarterbacks under his wing, he said.
So, Obviously, this is not an official depth chart. We don't get official depth charts until closer to the season. But unofficially, according to ESPN, your starter, Joe Flacco, backup, Kenny Pickett, third string, Dylan Gabriel, fourth string, Shedeur Sanders. Gabriel, of course, drafted
Yeah, we
higher.
got a whole training camp to get through. So.
Yeah, Gabriel drafted higher than Sanders. Again, obviously, everything's unofficial at this point. Devin says he's just happy to not hear anything about the Dolphins training camp. There you go. There's your win.
Don't worry, it's coming.
Here.
You will. Yeah, it'll get there.
Tyree can't keep his mouth closed for that long.
Exactly.
Throwing up gang signs still.
So week 1, the Browns host the Bengals.
Joe Flacco doesn't make it through the second quarter.
Probably not. Not with the Browns O-line and the Bengals pass rush. Week 2, the Browns travel to Baltimore to play the Ravens.
If he made it somehow through that game, he won't make it through the second quarter of this game.
Week 3, they come home to face NFC playoff team from last year, the Green Bay Packers. Week 4, they travel to defending NFC North champion Detroit.
God damn it.
Week 5, they travel
Why
to
did Flacco sign here?
Right. Week 5, I believe this is a London game, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time on October 5th, against the Vikings.
God, you don't even get like the Jaguars or something.
Nope. You
Here,
are the Jaguars.
Have the other team that the first wild card team to ever have 12 wins.
You literally are the Jaguars you're the Jaguars to the Vikings at that point.
God.
Then they come back over the pond. Don't get a bye week, by the way, to host the Steelers. Then you
what's the date? Are we in October?
Pittsburgh. That's at Pittsburgh.
We're in October because the London game is the 5th, so that's the 12th.
Yeah, this is week 6.
We're October 12th. They still haven't won a game.
Week 7, they host the Dolphins. That's your first chance. I'm not saying you can beat them.
No, their first chance is week 1 because Cincinnati will play backwards. But
I was going to say Cincinnati is not an automatic loss. It should be.
Not to bring it. It didn't. It was the Browns beat them. Or no, Patriots won against the Bengals.
Patriots have beaten them. I think the Giants beat them 1 year in the first 3 weeks of the regular season.
The whole start of the season was just an absolute train wreck. So,
and then week 8, right before the bye, at New England.
And I don't think
they're 0-8 going into
New England.
This is the Mike Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel,
and they
Drake May,
defensive players. They I like May. I like May.
They got some offensive weapons for him finally.
Right, defense is shaping back up again. Like, I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl contender.
Maybe
Stephon Diggs hell of a lot better than they were last year.
Maybe.
I will also say I saw something on the Twitter or on the TikTok that they were talking about coaches they would take over Man Campbell, and one of the guys said Mike Vrabel, and I was like, he has to win more than 5 games in either Tennessee or New England before we can worry about taking him ahead of Dan Campbell. But I
like
digress.
Vrabel. I like Vrabel, the guy.
I do too.
I like Vrabel, the coach. I mean, is he Man Campbell? Like, no. First of all, you don't have a cool nickname like Man Campbell.
Man Campbell.
Right.
So all right, that gets you to the bye after week 8. Does Shedeur start before the bye?
No.
Okay.
I'm curious to see if they carry both rookies.
They cut Kenny Pickett.
Like, I don't think Pickett and Flacco both make the ride. I think one of them gets shipped off.
Pickett will get cut. I think,
or he'll get traded to someone who loses their quarterback.
Right.
Something happens in training camp, like they're just not.
I mean, let's not forget the Atlanta Falcons still have Kirko Chains on their roster.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I see Pickett winding up in New Orleans or something.
At the very best, they're 1-7 coming out of the bye week.
But if they had both rookies,
it'll
be interesting to see if they try to sell some sort of competition show where like one starts 1 week, one starts the other, split halves. Like
no, because last year was your AFC North in season
quarterback drama.
What's the show on on HBO.
Hard Knocks.
Yeah, this year, love this. It's the NFC East is the in-season Hard Knocks. So you get to see the Giants GM make an ass of himself, and you get to see the Cowboys slowly unravel as the season goes on. It's going to be beautiful to witness. Yeah, look, he's definitely not starting in the first 5. Okay,
No,
you're not throwing him out there. Cincy, Baltimore, Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota. That's dumb. That's not going to happen.
The earliest you see him is the London game.
Yeah, and even then, I feel like it's
hard going across the pond, changing everything.
Roll out then, and even when you come back, you're on the road.
We're on the road at
Pittsburgh,
so probably not that. It's at probably
Miami's
the Miami
probably
game's
the
your
earliest.
first shot.
Miami's probably the earliest.
So then you have 2 winnable games going into the bye. Like even if you are 0-6,
let's not forget that Pittsburgh has Aaron Rodgers.
Well, true,
and they're down a receiver now. Sort of.
But they're hypothetically still.
But their defense is still.
Yeah. Let's hypothetically believe in Mike Tomlin at least through week 6, right? Like Aaron Rodgers, at least, barring.
I do believe he exists.
The Steelers will win that game in standard AFC North fashion, 9-6.
Okay, hold on though. This is an interesting wrinkle. Remember Aaron Rodgers' first game with the Jets?
Correct.
When he blew out his Achilles, where did it happen? At the Meadowlands. What? Steelers, week 1 at the Jets.
I didn't know if we'd get to that tonight, but I did see that.
No kidding. So there's always that possibility.
Give that man an American flag.
Not saying that I hope it happens. I'm just saying there's a chance it does.
And the minute that Achilles pops, Kirk Cousins is a fucking Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Go get him.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, at 0-6, throw him out there against the Dolphins and the Patriots.
He's just got to beat out Dylan Gabriel. That's all.
Right.
Really
See if you can get some positive momentum going into the bye week. The only wrinkle in all of this, okay, is if, and I will say if for now, if the Browns start 0-2, 0-3, 0-4, is Coach Prime going to make a passing comment in a post-game press conference in Boulder on a Saturday night? Is he going to make a comment during his weekly press conference in Boulder during the week? Like, we've never
seen
their
coach and hired
like we've never seen Coach Prime without Shador. So we don't know. We don't know. This is literally the great unknown. But I can envision a scenario where Coach Prime brings up the fact that the Browns are struggling and they could probably use a different starting quarterback.
I'm sorry.
And then they put in Dylan Gabriel.
The same video that took Mike Vrabel over Dan Campbell said that they would take Kevin Stefanski over Man Campbell. Guess what? When Kevin Stefanski gets fired after the bye week and we start hearing about Coach Prime, the new fucking coach of the Cleveland Browns, will you still take Kevin Stefanski over Man Campbell then?
That's a great question. All right. Well, that's where we're going to pack it up for this week. Real quick, boys. Sean, let them know where they can follow you on Twitter or social media.
Well, you can follow me in the Tuesday Morning Quarterbacks Fantasy League. The current champion. Going to have a lot of photos present. So if you somehow get a hold of that feed, going to be a real fun time. But if not, you can catch me on Twitter at Sean Shine State. Should be a pretty fun year of Eagles memes and such. So, yeah, pop on in, take a look, see what we got going on.
All right, Mikey B, let them know.
You can follow me on Twitter at They Call Me Burn. You can listen to me talk professional wrestling with Big Jim over on the Take 3 Wrestling podcast. Yeah, that's all I got.
You can follow me at Big Jim Sports, but most importantly, just make sure you are following along with the show. We would certainly appreciate that. Again, next week, there will not be a live show. We will have a recorded episode talking about kind of similar theme with teams and teams that we root for. But if our teams get eliminated from existence in the major sports, who would be our new team and why? We'll be back here live on August the 5th, ranking the top 16 quarterbacks in the National Football League as we head into the new season. August the 12th, we'll have a Mount Rushmore episode of current NFL uniforms. We begin our weekly live season on August the 19th with our college football preview spectacular, where we predict all of the conference champions, college football playoff, national champion, Heisman Trophy, all of that. So make sure you are subscribed to the show, all podcast platforms. You can get our show on YouTube at Huddle Up Podcast. You can get our merchandise over on our TeePublic store. Follow us on all of our social media at Huddle Up Podcast, Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitter. You can get us on Instagram at Huddle Up Podcast Inc. Also, just hit the link tree in our social media feeds, as it has everything connected right there, including all of our own personal Twitters as well. So until next time, we hope you have a great couple of weeks. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay smart, and as always, go for the win.